Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. In this video we are going to show you how to remove a Bosch washing machine heater element and how to replace it with a new heater element. As you can see, this is a newer model heating element. The heating element will sit at the front of the washing machine under the drum seal, under the door seal basically. So in order to get access to the front of the washing machine, what you will have to do is that you will have to turn off the washing machine first. That's the first thing. You will then have to remove the top panel. In order to remove the top panel, it's got two screws at the back of the washing machine which are connected to the top panel. So once the top panel is removed, you then have to remove the soap dispenser where you're going to put the soap in. What next you have to do is, you can see there are three screws in there. So you have to unscrew that, just disconnect them screws. Once the screws are disconnected, you then have to remove the top. Then you have to remove the front two screws which are connected to the top unit. Once you are going to disconnect that, you might as well lie it down because that is going to be a lot easier. Then you got two screws in the bottom. You remove that. You remove the flap for the filter. As you can see, we are removing the bottom two screws. Once you're going to remove the bottom two screws, you then have to remove the top two. Once you're going to remove the top two, you then have to remove the whole panel, the front panel. So what next you have to do is, you have to open the door and you have to remove the spring for the gasket. As you can see, you just have to remove the spring for the gasket. Once you're going to remove the spring for the gasket you have to pull out like this. It's not difficult, you can do it in your home if your washing machine is not heating up. Then what you have to do is, you have to then remove the top panel. That's how you're going to remove the top panel. One thing you have to do, and which is that you have to disconnect the door lock wire, which there was not a good angle, that's why we could not show it. As you can see, we are removing the wires of the heater. So what you have to do is, next you have to unscrew that nut. Don't unscrew, like I've mentioned in my other videos, don't unscrew all of it, just leave it a little bit on. So then it's going to be a lot easier for you to pull the heating element out. So what you will have to do is, you will have to press it in. Sometimes it's a bit difficult. So as you can see, it's in now. So you have to take a flat screwdriver and pull the heating element out. As you can see, it's a little black. You have to install the new one. You can use the same old NTC sensor because 9 out of 10 times they are all fine. So you have to put it back in. You have to start tightening up. Tighten up the nut. Once the nut is all tied up, just make sure that do not tighten it up too much. Once the nut is all tied up, then what next you have to do is, you have to connect the wiring. Just make sure that wherever you remove them from, if you can take some photos before removing them. By doing that, then you're then going to remember which wire will go where. For us, obviously we do this every day, so we know which wire is going where. What next you have to do is, you have to put the top panel, front panel back onto the washing machine. We're going to show you now how to do that. There you go. Now what next you have to do is that you have to put the screws back on. As you can see, screws are back on now. Put the screws back on, the top screws and the bottom two screws. Once the screws are back on, we're then going to show you what to do next. So screws are back on now. So once the screws back on, you then have to lift the washing machine up. You have to connect the top panel up. Once the top panel is up, what you have to do is you have to put the screws back on. For the front unit, remember there are different types of screws for the front unit. I think two of them, they are different thread and one of them is different thread. You then have to connect the gasket properly back onto the actual washing machine. As you can see, you have to be very careful because the sides are very sharp and they are not really good for your hand if you're going to cut them. So what you have to do is you have to be very careful. As you can see, you have to put the gasket back on. You then have to put the silver spring ring on. Once that thing is on, your washing machine has got a brand new heating element. Put the soap dispenser drawer back on. Put the screws back on for the top unit. Once the thing is back on, your washing machine has got a brand new heating element and is all ready to use. These brand new units, they come with 1 year's warranty on the heater. As you can see, is on and is ready to go. Thank you very much for viewing this.